We're going right into it, huh?
We're starting off strong.
Oh yeah.
This podcast is being recorded the week after Halloween, first week of November.
Um,
And
yeah,
a momentous occasion happened this past weekend.
that's true. There was the biggest album of the year, in fact, was released, without question.
Without question, Still Sucks by Limp Bizkit. Woo! Now, before we declare it as our album of the year on the spot.
Yep.
Actually, I don't know. I feel like we should just start talking about the topic first.
Yeah,
In
that's maybe
general.
true. Welcome to the PMMetalGuide podcast.
I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
Today we're talking about everyone's favorite new metal group, Limp Bizkit. Doing a nice little deep dive on the discography, our opinions, the meta analyses of the adjacent metal subgenres, given our I don't know, themes, dialectics. It should be fun.
Oh yeah. Limp Bizkit is obviously a very interesting group and one that has come under much media attention in the last existence of their being.
Yeah.
So-
People born after the year 2000, like any Zoomer doesn't really understand just how world conquering they were. Like Chocolate Starfish sold 7 million copies in a year. Like they've sold 30 million records worldwide. Like that is ridiculous. That's a level of commercial success that shouldn't be possible, let alone for a new metal group and one with sort of the I don't know. Full disclosure, I love Limp Bizkit. I think they're unironically amazing for several reasons.
I do not share that sentiment, but we will get into that with this podcast.
We'll get into that. I think in 2021 the big question is how much lyrical misogyny they really engaged in, how much they propagated sort of the negative aspects of 90s culture, and that's a pretty valid one. I think it was covered pretty extensively in several recent pieces. Price's Woodstock 99 documentary for HBO being the big one, which I disagree with a lot of the conclusions made, but not because those things didn't exist. Just I think it sort of misses the context of the era.
Yeah.
That being said, I think when you're talking about a band like Limp Bizkit, I think it's important to view them more as an elaborate performance art piece than an actual band with the intent of making good relatable songs.
Yeah. No, there's a level of I guess understanding that when you know Limp Bizkit, it's, I mean, it can't be all a joke, but it's pretty much all a joke.
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, if you listen to anyone talk about their relationship with Fred Durst, whether it be Les Claypool or James Hetfield, they'd be like, oh man, Fred, he's such a nice dude, super kind, super caring, really knows his stuff, really just committed to art. And then if you watch any interview with him that's not for Limp Bizkit, where he's doing sort of a persona, he's this just a very mild-mannered, kind of introspective individual, which is hysterical considering the public persona, especially at the turn of the 2000s when, there were media rumors that he was, with Britney Spears, who was 16 at the time, or with Christina Aguilera, who was also that stuff doesn't happen without some considerable heft. And the fact that Limp Bizkit were able to pull the numbers they did is just insane.
Yeah,
I think a lot of that
astounding.
Yeah, a lot of that definitely goes into the performance art aspect of it. And even look at this most recent album. It was it was released as a surprise on Halloween. It has possibly the worst intentionally bad album art I've seen in a long time. It's called Still Sucks, and it feels like they're in on the joke,
They have to be. I mean,
yeah, they have. There's at no point where it feels like at no point where they're not in on the joke.
You're right.
On their first record, they have a bar about some atrocious bars about sticking it in with your erection, like over these ridiculous hardcore influenced new metal riffs, like
Right.
And also, I did a little bit of digging before this. Like, Fred Durst as a dude has done so many goddamn bizarre things. Like, in the past 10 years, he did like an ASMR podcast. His Instagram is just a picture of one car, one vintage car for years. He'll like give interviews like as a performance. I don't know. It's all very, very high concept, and I feel like it definitely betrays the image that we know him for with the band.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that Limp Bizkit overall, like even all the groups, like when you listen to the interview on, I can't remember what track exactly it is on Still Sucks, but the
Wes Borland interview.
Yeah, the Wes Borland interview. It's just like, I don't know, like, you know it's fake, you know it's a meme, but like they're just so serious about it, and they like look at the fucking band photos they have. You
Yeah.
have Limp Bizkit looking like an absolute fucking, or excuse me, Fred Durst looking like an absolute fool, and then the rest of the band is wearing like all black, just like cargo
and,
shorts, like
you know,
your
Wes
sludge metal
Borland
outfit.
has consistently dressed up in like full kabuki
Right.
outfits. He's gone there, you know.
Yeah, it's just it's all so strange. It's always been so strange.
I know, and like it's like the music itself. I'd argue, you know, you can have different opinions on it. For like, I'd say it at the very least, it certainly achieves its goals.
Yes.
You know, everyone's talked about how incredible of a guitarist Wes Borland is, and that should certainly be recognized. Like, you know, very few people can do like 4-hour long improvisational solo sets and have them be interesting all the way, or craft those riffs, or craft those sick choruses. You know, John Otto, taking to the massive sprint is an amazing drummer. You can definitely tell he comes from a jazz background. Even DJ Lethal from House of Pain, like fame, it's just hysterical. I feel like that's something. And like, you know, Fred Durst definitely knew that, hey, I'm a pretty horrific like vocalist, but I know how to, you know, manufacture an image, and know how to market and make connections.
Yeah.
So he assembled just the tightest group he could.
Well, I mean, I think that the biggest part of Fred Durst as a character is that he is just the ringleader. He's like Corey Taylor. Like, it's a very similar arc of, you know, a band of misfits that, I don't know, the craziest one is the front man. I don't know. It's a really interesting band dynamic that you don't see often.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was like, I've been doing a lot of new metal research for school, unironically, and like, if you look back at all those gigantic bands from the latter half of the 90s, like, he was one of, if not the only one with like, you know, a real rock star air to him, you know?
Yeah.
He was this large than life, like, cartoonish redneck fucker from Jacksonville. Like, you know, had these horrific rhymes and screamed, and had this really outlandish public image, had a very iconic look. And if you look at, like, you know, Jonathan Davis, great front man, but like, you know, he'd sit in the back and cry about sexual assault from him as a child, or like, you know, stuff like
that doesn't
whatnot.
sell. Come on.
Like, but you know, with Fred Durst, you have this like almost cartoon character, rapping the most outrageous bars you've ever heard over hardcore riffs.
Yeah, it's very unique. I mean, there's not a band like Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously. Like, if you listen back to a lot of the endlessly generic new metal that came out on that era, like, I don't know. I guess we always use Cold Chamber as the example, because like Cold Chamber's music was so atrocious, but they somehow got popular. Or like Static X, I don't know. And those bands are huge. Like, if you listen to any of those guys, and then the step below those guys, the music is so generic. It's so like poorly conceived, so poorly written, and something about the Bizkit just hits differently. You know, it's probably a combination of the amazing rhythm section, the airtight guitar work and songwriting, and Fred Durst incredibly memeable bars.
I mean, that's it.
No, seriously. I mean, we're gonna just, you know, I think discuss the albums a little, not super in depth, but briefly. But like, you don't create like anthems like Break Stuff or Nookie or Hot Dog, or even a fucking cover of Behind Blue Eyes, which is probably one of the worst covers I've ever heard.
But they did
without having it, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Really, just they are something special.
No, they are, and like I totally understand why like the ironic nostalgia, which is now just like legitimate nostalgia, starts, or like why so many Gen Zers like us like unironically love the band because,
right,
like for what they do, it's great. You know, it's not. You can tell like the whole thing is kind of a bit. It's not super serious, but then they got slappers.
I will agree. I mean, I can definitely get down with most of the popular singles. I mean, I don't think that most of their work just holds up to the candle of those just incredible bangers, but you know.
No, I feel you. It's like, you know, we'll get into it, but I think for the most part they're definitely a singles band. Like, especially like Significant Other is pretty fondly remembered, and that record is wildly inconsistent. I'd argue that Chocolate Starfish is a fairly consistent ripper of a record.
I actually would agree with that.
Like start to finish, thing rips.
Yeah.
There are other albums more or less, but the unquestionable truth is unironically an amazing record. I think it is great. After this podcast, you will listen to it and you'll be like, "This is better than Rage Against the Machine." Unironically.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah. Still
$3 bill, y'all.
A $3. We're going in order. Fuck.
We're going in order, dude.
All right, let's fly. There's a lot to cover. Let's fly.
Let's go. Yeah, no. So $3 bill, y'all was obviously released in 1997. Their first major, well, not even really major label record. They had a few demos before this, and right from the get-go, have you listened to the intro before?
Yes, I have. I have listened to $3 bill.
It is hysterical. It's basically them like riffing on Disgustipated by Tool, except with like horrific like record scratches and like pitched up and pitched down vocals, and it's great. It really gets you into the mood.
Yeah.
Some people, generally like older metal fans, argue that this is their best album. And I don't think that's necessarily true, but it does have some ridiculous bangers.
Yeah.
Regardless of lyrical content, you know, Pollution, Counterfeit, Stuck, Sour, Faith, Clunk are all absolute rippers.
Yeah.
And like that cover of Faith is so iconic at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, everyone's seen the videos. It's just such an incredible just interpretation on the worst, like, dumbest, fucking bullshittiest song ever, and then just pushing that even further beyond the envelope.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said often, this cover is a joke, right? Because they're taking this 80s pop song from fucking George Michael, and I love George Michael, rest in peace.
Yeah, well,
but he's not exactly like a traditional rock star figure for a number of reasons, and they're just pushing it as hard as it can go. And the fact that the first verse is played entirely straight before "I'm giving you that door" is so awesome. And like, I remember the first time hearing this in like a car and getting to the chorus and being like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just sick. It's hurdle banger. You know.
Yeah.
You can watch like concert footage of this going back 20 years, and especially at like Woodstock 99, people just go bananas to this thing.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, it's great. And like, the originals here are great. I mean, I think Counterfeit is one of their best songs. This record is substantially heavier than the latter stuff, a lot more screaming.
Yeah.
A lot, like, Fred Durst occasionally dips into like guttural territory, which is kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
A lot more hardcore influence. And I don't know, I think it works pretty well. Like I said, I don't think this or even Significant Other really meant to be listened to as a record, because they do a thing where they like load their slower tracks too close together, and also, I don't know, just doesn't flow particularly well, but the bangers are bangers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, that being said, there's some lyrical questionable decisions that were made on this record.
Yeah, I would yeah.
Particularly in the songs Stuck and Sour, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
no, both of those are just a little a tad too hateful.
It's particularly towards women.
Yeah, no, not one of their shining moments. I mean, we don't have to really go into them, but like, I don't know, the imagery and the lyrics themselves are just a little problematic.
Yeah, and like this isn't like, oh man, they said the word bitch once in a chorus or something. This is like pretty heinous stuff. Not dissimilar to like Kim by Eminem or Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. And I understand, the culture really was different in the mid to late 90s in a lot of ways. Like a lot of popular rappers or new metal groups use the F slur quite frequently. They just have sections like this. A lot of it's been commented quite a lot about how even like a lot of classic rappers from this era had a lot of misogyny and homophobia.
Yeah.
And I think that the main takeaway here is like Limp Bizkit aren't alone here, and I honestly don't think this is malicious. Like,
no,
in any way.
I mean, you can look at the Genius annotations and obviously take that with a grain of salt, but it's at least I think one of the songs is in response to someone who was working in the industry trying to like sign them, and then they didn't end up signing them, and then she just like hounded the band for a while. Now obviously that's hearsay. Check up, do your own research, but seeing as that's the case, like, Tool made a very similar song, it just wasn't directed at a woman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's definitely some hooker with a penis vibes there.
Right.
And I mean, I think it's definitely unfortunate that in the 90s, this is generally actually for quite a long time, this stuff was generally acceptable. And if you're going to express like, inhuman rage, it was easy enough to express it at a female figure for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We go into that's a long discussion. But I want to like basically interviews from the entire band since the dawn of time has painted them as apolitical, which whatever that means, but keep in mind in the 90s that term had a lot different weights, but they've always been socially progressive. If you watch like footage of like Limp Bizkit from any time, he'll talk, or for Fred Durst, he'll be like, yeah, everyone here is accepted or whatever. So I really don't think this is malicious. I think it's just mimicking sort of popular cultural conveyances of hyper masculinity, and it's unfortunate that these two songs are directed specifically at women, because that's never a good thing.
No.
Now, that being said,
no.
I do want to just mention, like, it's pretty widely understood amongst popular music academics that music, and even popular music, doesn't really synthesize culture. It just reflects it. I don't think Limp Bizkit themselves were actively causing cultural misogyny.
Yeah.
I think these songs in particular, amongst a much wider broad body of work, are just sort of reflecting something that was already there.
Right. And they're not the songs that are exactly in the spotlight of the band either, Like, that Faith cover really blew up and was what they were known for.
Yeah.
And, of course, other great tracks, Pollution,
Counterfeit.
Counterfeit. Like, those ones are real slappers that, have a lot of traction. And I guess it's good that if anything got radio play, it was probably those tracks.
Now, when we're talking about the next album, the Nookie is also a little questionable.
Mm-hmm.
But yes. Anywho, I don't know. I'd say this first record, misogyny aside, pretty solid listen. Has some absolute slappers. Definitely, it really is a lot more like straight up Rage Against the Machine worship than their other stuff. And if you like that, you'll like it. That being said, I think Fred Durst was generally better at writing like ridiculous hooks than Zach De La Roche was.
Sure, yeah.
Anywho,
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, this record really blew them up. Faith got play on MTV like during the day, which is hysterical to think about.
Yeah.
Especially considering like the extended outro. But their second record.
That's what really did them in, huh?
Oh.
Or did them up.
Did 'em Up, yes. Re- Released in 1999. Significant Other would go platinum almost immediately, which is insane. I remember reading a retrospective from Tom Bryan, the lead editor, and one of the columnists at Stereogum about how just like getting this record in like middle school and high school, and absolutely everyone and their mother was just banging the Bizkit.
That must have been insane.
I can't even imagine.
No, right? I can't even imagine that.
And it's not like this was like particularly like stylish then.
Nope.
You know, and like right from the intro, you know, you wanted the worst. You got the worst. Like, it's so dumb.
No.
This record also has plenty of slappers, but sorry, you can go them.
No, I mean, it's like, it's really, again, it's just really strange to think about seeing this album cover pop up on everyone's, like, I don't know, like, if you had streaming services and social media back then, like, this would be the Olivia Rodrigo or the fucking, I don't know, whatever, other bullshit, Taylor Swift, who cares? This is what would be like on your normie Spotify page, and that's just insane. Yeah, no, it really paints a different picture.
Yeah, I mean, and there are some like astronomically huge songs from this, right?
Oh yeah,
like, you know, just like this is a pretty fun opener. I like the chorus, but Nookie and Break Stuff, like, those songs are inescapable. If you like look at their Spotify plays, it's like hard to fathom, right?
No, absolutely.
And you know, Break Stuff's a classic. I think it's one of the few songs you could argue that Fred Durst's lyrics are actually okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the most over the top.
Yeah, it's just like it's so like Neanderthalic. It's so dumb. It makes no sense. Like, there are so many bad rhymes, but on top of that, you got, you know, this ridiculously catchy and fun like guitar riff and a heavy as shit breakdown. Very iconic chorus.
Yeah, it's just incredible fun for the whole family.
No, seriously, and like, I mean, I think there's some like legitimately great tunes here. I think the song "No Sex" featuring Aaron Lewis of Staind, of all people, fuck him. But I think "No Sex" is like legitimately one of the band's better songs.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty great banger.
Yeah, and then like the outro here is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like the when he just starts listing off all the cities and Limp Bizkit are coming to, and the fact that, you know, on various versions there's raps from Les Claypool, which is hysterical, and you know, major label executives getting wrecked. Jonathan Davis and Scott Weiland, of all people, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, there's also a lot more alt rock influence on this record. Like, all these choruses are like vaguely like, you know, 90s. There are some Tool moments here.
Right. Oh yeah.
Especially in Chocolate Starfish, there's some serious Tool influence.
Definitely.
And you know, if you listen to like the stuff Wes was actually a fan of at the time, it makes sense. Because he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a big. He's a huge fan of Red House Painters. Listening to this album, unironically, like Sun Ra, and it's funny that all went into this.
Yeah.
You know. That being said, you know, Nookie, ridiculous banger, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like Primus with an atrocious radio rock structure. You know, that main riff is super iconic. Fred Durst's verses are atrocious in like all the best ways.
Yeah.
I came into this world as a reject looking to these. You know, the chorus is super iconic, and even has like a Maynard James Keenan like climax.
Yep.
Which is super funny.
Yeah.
Now, I wish the song wasn't, you know, just like a bad breakup song.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as explicit as anything on $3 Bill, but, you know, there's still definitely some loaded misogynistic language in there.
I would say, yeah. It's good to see some improvement.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, after luckily after Significant Other, they really never included any more lyrical examples of this on their records. And one thing I will say is there's no lyrical examples of homophobia or racism on Limp Bizkit's records, which is good. I mean, you couldn't say the same thing for a lot of their contemporaries, unfortunately. But you know, there's relatively few examples of misogyny too. It's unfortunate that they exist.
It's just a little bit, just a tad. There are like you said, they're definitely worse.
They're definitely worse. And the song on this record, "Nobody Like You," is pretty bad. Well.
No, that one's not good.
Yeah, what's the line where he's like, "I tried to win." Let's see if I can find it. I don't know. There's a pretty horrible line about like blue balls here. It's pretty rough. There's nobody like you. No, don't go off wandering. Sorry.
Yeah, don't go off wandering.
Yeah,
by the way, have you heard the Serge Tankian demo?
Yeah.
Featured?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, rips. Anyway.
Well, I mean, Ross Robinson produced both of these records, so
yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
the way you keep testing me and mentally molesting me. I'm stuck with my dick in the hand because. Yeah, I don't know. I think at the time they registered as generally tasteless, and now just kind of abhorrent.
Yeah, it's easy to see now, obviously, but again, there was a very kind of big culture in that regard already established from the 90s.
I really do want to clarify. Like this is not like, one band leading the charge. This is them doing the same thing as basically every other popular explicit act at the time.
Yeah.
Like how even no one really talks about it, but even like Foo Fighters, The Color and Shape has like a couple songs where things get questionable, and and Foo Fighters are like widely considered like, everyone's favorite rock band. Super.
Well, right, literally.
Friendly. Yeah. So, I'd at least like to bring that up.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know, this record is definitely iconic. Like the picture of the I assume Fred Durst, like standing there with the microphone and his arms out, is seen absolutely everywhere. And this record really propelled them into like superstardom.
Yeah, no, that's their first big break.
Well, yeah, I know, it's crazy. Like if you look at the music video for like Nookie, Ben Stiller's in there, or in Break Stuff, like Snoop Dogg's in there, and like all these crazy, all these actors wearing like the Fred Durst outfit. This one, like, they start getting covered on like TMZ and stuff, which is ridiculous. It's so crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I guess this is where like the frat boy party image is crystallized when, like, in reality, I really do think like 95% of that is just an image thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, totally. And I don't know, the good record for the most part. It definitely has some standouts and it's a little inconsistent. Like I can't listen to it all the way through, but that being said, it is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water, on the other hand.
I mean, this record is, it's just loaded, man.
It really is. Like, this thing, number one immediately, is almost diamond certified, has, just hit after hit after hit. And honestly, from the front to the back, is a pretty loaded track list.
Yeah, I would say.
Like, I don't know, hot dog, or you got the intro once again, too.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical. Just that pitched up, who's in the house? Limp Bizkit is in the house.
I don't know. Like, the way this album finds its balance between being so serious but completely fucking ridiculous in every way is just encapsulating.
It's ridiculous. And like the fact that basically every song is like this airtight pop creation filled with just the worst lyricism in performances you've ever heard from Fred Durst. It just elevates it for me. Like from the intro hot dog, right? You get this ridiculous mosh riff, and then my man Fred Durst goes on to like, say fuck 49 times, call out Tool, 9 Inch Nails. And it's just so ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I honestly, it's probably one of my favorite songs. Like, the rhymes,
it's hysterical.
The rhymes, man, they're just too good. Like, ain't life a bitch, a fucked up sore with a fucked up stitch. Swinging on my nuts, it's a fucked up game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. I love the fact that he literally just rips the chorus from Closer.
Yeah. The exact
chorus. It's just such a Chad move.
That's what Fred Durst does. I mean, no, he doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about your feelings. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's really this song, My Generation, My Way, Rollin', all of them. They're just so in your face, and they don't care about anything other than themselves.
It's great.
It's such a strange dynamic.
It's my generation. Like, it's funny, like, because basically, like, every song on this record has like a general premise, and then all of them like just completely like miss the premise. Like, what, like, My Generation's obviously a riff on, the Who, except for Generation X, Generation Strength. And it says effectively nothing about anything, and it's wonderful. Like, you have all these iconic like vocal inflections. Hey kid, take my advice. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and there's a turntable solo where you get the DJ Lethal, bring it up. Oh, it's perfect, dude.
Yeah, no, it just really weighs into everything that it's trying to do, and it's great.
No,
it's great.
Literally. I mean, actually, I'd argue that there's really only like one or two like tracks in this record. I think the whole thing is pretty solid. Like, I think Full Nelson absolutely slaps. That dude, the bridge for Full Nelson is ridiculous. Because we got the fire to burn. Motherfucker down, and then like he does the thing. He does like the deathcore like high at the end of it, which is it's so nuts. It's so dumb.
Yeah, he just goes totally in. There's Fred and the entire band behind him they're fully into the craft.
No, seriously, and like, My Way, it's always been like my least favorite song on this record. Ripper.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if you don't like it, even if it's a shit song, which. I mean, it's not a good song, but man, does it go hard! Like, it's just like it's incomparable.
Chorus, this time, I feel like you hear this thing, like you hear like half this thing once, and then you whip out the backwards baseball cap and start rapping along. It's great.
Well, right, yeah, it's
and like
you can just get really, really into it,
and like say like Rollin', oh my god. What eternal, legendary tune. Like, once again, about absolutely nothing. That bridge, oh my god.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Where you at? Where you at? Yeah, it's just really, Chocolate Starfish. And you know what? No misogyny.
Yeah. It's
at least blatant and overt.
It's all like relatively PG, just talking about the dumbest shit imaginable. You get a Ben Stiller shout out at the start of Living It Up, in this horrific like.
He's in what music? What other music? He was in another one for this album, I think.
Was he?
Was he? I think he might have been in the My Way music video too.
Oh, I could be wrong.
I could be wrong, but yeah.
Dude, you get the horrific like Eagles sample.
Yeah.
And the
funny.
I don't know, I love that. I unironically love that. And I'm gonna get it out with the motherfucking microphone playing in my soul. I think that moment's iconic. I don't know. I guess rather than go through every track on this record, I'd say Boiler is unironically a good song.
Yeah.
Like outside of Limp Bizkit dumb. It's just them doing like H by Tool.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is when Limp Bizkit kind of goes in and actually tries to write a song, it usually works.
No,
at least on these early albums. At least on the early albums it does. I can't say the same about their newer stuff, but
No, I'd agree. I think when they absolutely go in and like actually try it, it works on. Like I think Voiler and Hold On, honestly, Ilya, I think all like the top where they try on this record, it works fairly well.
Yeah.
Even like the Get Your Groove On is ridiculous. Like the
Yeah.
fact that they just get Exhibit, DJ Premier, and then they get Redman and Method Man and fucking DMX on a remix of Rollin' on the same album.
Yeah.
Like, insane, ridiculous. I don't know how they did it, and it's funny because like, the ad libs on this are like, DMX be like, "Yeah, Fred."
Yeah, no, it's really fucking funny.
It's like I don't know. There's like just something like childish and like, like about the whole thing. Like it's just so innocent and like pure and full of joy and just like I don't know. I listen to fucking. Depressive suicidal black metal 9 days of the week. So just being able to sauce on the outro where Ben Stiller and Fred Durst argue for like 2 minutes and like lose it because of how ridiculous absolutely everything on it is. There's just something magical about that.
No, it is. I think magical is kind of a good word for it because it doesn't make sense. It really shouldn't work the way it does, but it does.
It does. Like I don't know. It's somehow just like the sum is greater than the parts.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
And I don't know. I think you can make a legitimate argument for like Child of Starfish being one of the better pop records of.
Yeah. Sure. I'd be willing to give that a whirl.
It's rock solid, it's dynamic, achieves its goals. And it has like this level of just unabashed memery that few other things ever reach.
Yeah. I mean, again, this just continues the Limp Bizkit legacy of being just completely over the goddamn top and just caring about no one. I mean, this album came out a year after fucking
Significant Other.
Like that's such a quick turnaround. They don't care. They don't care about Tour Cycle. They just fucking did it.
And then I think it was on this album cycle where Fred Durst was like, "Oh yeah, I'm dating Britney Spears," and he's like, "Oh, Miss Aguilera, come and get some." Which I don't know is very very cringe. I'll say it was media ploy for attention and that.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bad look. When a band gets that big, especially in metal adjacent genres, there's generally some hullabaloo.
Yeah.
Or hullabaloo over all the bullshit that happens and what the band's representing, blah blah blah, all this stuff. I don't know. You can only take so much of, especially American media, on their interpretations and thoughts about metal adjacent musicians.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I don't know, I think it's unfortunate that stuff happened, especially in like the year 2000.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I guess in the grander scheme of things, it's not particularly harmful.
No.
Do you know what is particularly harmful? Is results may vary.
Yeah, you know what? I would agree.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad. I was I was reading like a fairly like loving retrospective, and people were like, "Yo, actually, this record's pretty underrated." I was like, "Oh, let me listen to it." Nope. I don't think it has. It has very like almost no redeeming qualities.
Wow.
I think like I said, I think Behind Blue Eyes is genius because it is like possibly the worst cover I've ever heard from like a major label band.
Bad cover, but it
has like 300,000 plays on Spotify.
It's ridiculous how successful that song has become.
Yeah, and
how?
Look, man, I could not tell you. I really could not.
And the fact that a mainstream metal adjacent artist has made a career off of covers is kind of insane.
Yeah, right.
Like an actual career, like an actual killing on covers of Faith, Behind Blue Eyes. Like, that's just whatever.
I know. And like, I don't know, this thing, like, whatever, I mean, I'm going to say whatever spark that exists on the first 3 albums Spoiler: the spark was Wes Borland because he wasn't on this one.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
is just gone. Like, these songs just kind of suck. Like, Eat You Alive's the lead single, blows ass. Even the Snoop Dogg feature with Red Light, Green Light is kind of boring. Like, there's a song with Head from Korn, and it sucks. The whole thing is just too long. It's like 18 songs. It's like an hour and a half. Half of them are just like dopey butt rock anthems.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
And it's funny because, this record did atrociously. It sold 300,000 in its first week, which, by today's standards is insane. But in 2003, that was bad.
Right.
This is also post 9/11, post Napster. So something tells me, the world wasn't feeling the Bizkit the way they once were.
No.
And you can kind of tell. I don't know. It's bad. I don't think this record has many redeeming qualities.
No, I wouldn't say so either.
Now,
I've only listened to it a handful of times.
The Unquestionable Truth, Part 1, on the other hand. Oh, my God. I think this record is, like, unironically amazing. Like, look, Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water is great. Don't be wrong. Great record. But, like, it's also a Limp Bizkit record. I think The Unquestionable Truth, Part 1 is, like, actually good music.
Yeah.
No, seriously, like, all the songs here...
I will listen to it.
No, seriously, man. All the songs here, with the exception of The Key, which is like a minute and a half long interlude, are just like 5 minutes of like this ridiculous, like, Rage Against the Machine, vicious, like, rap metal. And it has like Fred Durst actually spitting good lyrics. Like, I know that's crazy, but like, they're actually okay. Like, the song Propaganda is, about what you'd expect. But about how, like, we're all buying some sort of mass media narrative, like, why, the truth is sort of the same thing. Like, it's all very, like, right. Anti-establishment, and, like, it sounds like it'd be dumb as shit and overly edgy, and it is. But it's also great, because it's it's the man that once shouted, like, I don't know, everything from the first 3 albums, and now he's doing, like, these crazy, like... There's one in the truth. He does the "Your Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name" as the bridge. Like, what? The priest's, like, breakdown has him basically just being like, "Should I send my kid to Sunday school so you can fuck him?" And, like, this attack on, like, the Catholic Church with all of the bluntness and none of the nuance you'd expect from Fred Durst.
Right.
I think the channel, the story, and the surrender are also slap. I don't go in as much detail, but I think the story is like an unironic, like, insane banger too.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm kind of excited to listen to it.
Dude, it's great. It's like unironically great. Like, it's basically them doing like Rage Against the Machine with like better pop instincts and slightly more like aggression.
Fuck yeah.
Like, and it's funny because this record, like, no one even knows it exists. It, like, they surprise released it through like a male fan club or something. I don't even think it charted compared to the others.
Weird.
And it's funny because it's ridiculously good. Like, unironically.
Yeah.
I can't say the same thing for Gold Cobra or Still Sucks, unfortunately.
No.
Have you even listened to Gold Cobra?
No.
It's mostly just them doing, like, Chocolate Starfish, not as well.
That makes sense.
That being said, it has fun moments.
It's done pretty well commercially for them, at least by Spotify margins.
No, like, seriously, surprisingly so, right? Keep in mind, they are Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I'd say Gold Cobra is not particularly good. It is more of the same Limp Bizkit, and in 2011, no one really needed that. In the same way that 10 years later, no one really needed Still Sucks. Like, this record is good because it's very self-aware, and it continues, like, the performance art aspect of them, especially now that they're, like, into, like, this unironic nostalgia phase. But, I don't know, they're very, like... there are a few moments where I'm like, you know what? This is amazing.
Yeah, no. I've been reading stuff online, and I don't see it. Because it has pretty good reception
Yeah.
overall.
Well, one thing that killed me is like if you go on RYM, like it is by far and away their highest rated record by like a huge margin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, like I don't know.
Look at what's that right now.
Yeah, Still Sucks is at 2.9.
Jesus.
And to give you some perspective, Chocolate Starfish is at 2.3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of insane. Because it's definitely not better than those earlier records. Like, I'd even probably listen to $3 Bill Y'all before I'd listen to Still Sucks.
Yeah, no, I probably agree with you. I mean, like this record is fun, has some good moments. I like the hardcore bangers, but you know, the In Excess cover isn't necessarily something I was looking for, and like the 3 other acoustic ballads aren't exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if like next week Limp Bizkit surprise drop another album of the same length to give you like for some, as an example.
It could.
Well, apparently they have like 50 songs written and recorded, so I don't know why they chose this.
That's fucking funny.
That being said, I don't know. It's capitalizing on the meme. I think it's cool. I'll rip it. I'll play the bangers on occasion, and like I said, there's something just respectable about how aggressively horrible the artwork is.
It's real bad.
It is. I don't know. Chad energy. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dad vibes.
Funny. Yeah, no, it's wild.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess in the year of our Lord 2021, Limp Bizkit are in like this weird place. I'd honestly say I'd rather have their legacy than like Korn, right? The other gigantic new metal band.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because like Korn are kind of at this point, I think we generally agree that their best years are behind them. You know, they're still really, really popular, but we'll probably never recoup that late 90s high. And,
no,
their records certainly haven't stayed consistent.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, at this point they're kind of like a pair, and like
they are a parody of themselves.
Yeah, certainly. Like, it's you can only ride something associated with youth, like this very real feeling of angst for so long and have it still be visceral. And let's be real, Korn were never the best songwriters. Like, they have great songs, but if you listen to a song like Falling Away From Me, it's not exactly crafted with a super adept ear.
No.
Whereas,
no.
And a lot of people, they still have all the connotations of the new metal era, but for the worse. Whereas, like, a band like Limp Bizkit were always hated, and so now people can, like, look back on them just, like, memeing harder than they've ever memed before with, like,
right.
gold-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would argue they're better songwriters.
I would say so, too. I would.
Like, I don't know. I'd rather see new metal as, like, this unabashed, like, fun, like, working class music that united, America during the doldrums of the 90s than, like,
no, I totally agree with that.
Angst.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Fuck yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Limp Bizkit are pretty good. I wish they weren't I wish the first 2 records didn't have some seriously horrific views. Yeah.
No, I think that overall they're generally not one of the worst offenders, but yeah. It's good that they're at least, they have to be knowledgeable of it. People have talked to them about it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, totally. And like I said, clearly the band members all know what they're doing to some extent. Fred Durst's character has always been sort of like an elaborate method performance, and if you like, the man himself is clearly at least like socially progressive or liberal. Same thing with same thing with the rest of the band. So yeah.
Good on them for it.
Yeah, good on them. Look, I wish I had seen him before the tour was canceled this summer. Would have been
big sad.
Would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get him next time. We'll live report it.
Yeah.
Give a it'll be a fun time. Until then, I don't know. I'll still sauce on chocolate starfish or unquestionable
Sure.
truth every now and then and get down with the biscuit.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get down with some biscuit. I will say it. I'll say it now. I can.
Oh my.
Some,
Oh my
not
God.
all, but some.
No, that's fair. I'd say I generally agree with that. I think I probably enjoy them more than you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, that was surprisingly tepid.
Yeah. No, not too bad. we didn't get too upset at the biz. It's all right.
No, we're too busy getting upset at Anthony Fantano for hating good music.
That is true. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll get into that. The Mastodon record is more than a 6 or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
Whatever the hell he rated it.
what the heck? Then you
Like,
actually,
I
gotta
understand.
check.
It's not my favorite Mastodon albums.
Yeah,
by
I
any
gave it a
means,
6.
But I think it's better than a 6. I really do.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like you can't be a metal fan in the 21st century and like not know Mastodon fairly well. Like,
Right.
I'm not even a huge Mastodon fan, but like I've listened to all those albums too many times. Know every note of Blood and Thunder and Oblivion and all those hits.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're still like an important band that I like.
I would say so. They're pretty. I mean, they're pretty. As far as like modern popular metal goes, they're one of the. I mean, they're one of the best.
Yeah, totally. Like, if you look at like a band like Trivium or Lamb of God or I don't know.
Right.
I'm trying. Who else?
I mean, any of those.
Yeah, right.
Hatebreed, even.
Yeah, there you go. Like, very few artists make albums as good as Leviathan,
Mastodon.
Blood Moon,
Yeah.
Crack the Sky, which are all, let's be real, pinnacles of the genre.
Mm-hmm.
And then have some fairly consistent work outside of them. I think, honestly, I probably, when I was 15, hated The Hunter and Once More Around the Sun too much.
Yeah, I think that they're slightly better, but I don't know by how much.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'd be like, yo, do you know what record I love?
Bro,
The Hunter. It's
put
just,
on Curl of the Burl. Like,
that's a call about.
yeah.
like, don't get me wrong, but I think perhaps I was a bit too harsh because, look, for what they're trying to do, they achieve it relatively well in those records. And Emperor of Sand, I re-listened to it this week. Thing's great. Like,
No, it's a great
super
album.
solid. Like, more proggy, like alt rock with like some very interesting parts and good climaxes. Generally well written, well performed. Sounds great. Like, it's not amazing, but it's quite good.
Yeah.
And I think Hush and Grimm's actually is better than Emperor Sand. I'd say Hush and Grimm's probably their best record since Crack the Sky by like a fair margin.
I haven't listened to it enough where I'm at that point yet, but I can see it getting there because
Well,
there is a lot to this.
Yeah,
record.
there's just like all in all, when I heard Mastodon were doing an hour and a half long record, I was like, "Oh, fucking kill me!" Like, I remember, driving back on road trips and just trying like to get through Leviathan, and I just couldn't because I was like, "It's so boring."
Yeah.
And Hush and Grimm is considerably longer than that, but surprisingly enough, it works. I think front to back, this thing's a very solid listen. A lot of highlights. The songs are well written, well performed, sound awesome. Have fairly good lyricism. The vocals are surprisingly consistent, and there's just enough heavy where I'm like, oh yeah, this is Mastodon. I'm not like, why are they doing alt rock choruses?
Yeah, right.
Like, there are some riffs here that could have been taken from Remission. It's not like they're screaming or doing death growls underneath them, but they're definitely plenty of heavy, chuggy, proggy sludge riffs.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I mean
even a lot of their stoner influence from stuff like, fuck, I can't remember the name, and I'm dying. What the hell? Album 3,
Blood Mountain.
Blood Mountain. Yeah, like there's a lot of the stoner influence that kind of bleeds into that and Leviathan into this album.
Yeah, no,
and I
totally.
think that's a nice addition.
Yeah, there's also like
'Cause-
a fair amount of old prog, because if you listen to a record like Crack the Sky, you know, it doesn't sound particularly like King Crimson or Rush, but there are moments on this record with turnarounds or with, you know, structure or with syncopation where you're like, oh yeah, dude, Robert Fripp would have done that.
Yeah.
And it taps into like this broader, like one thing, you know, that I really love in prog is when it reaches back into like a broader like aural canon and like incorporates that.
Right.
This record does that. Also, there's a lot of really tasteful strings here.
Yeah.
I think it's just well executed.
The record does a lot of interesting things that the band themselves hasn't even tackled before.
Yeah, totally. And I don't know. As always with Mastodon, they sort of do a good job of framing the concept, which I think adds a little bit. And the lyrics here are a little bit more emotional and personal in their past works.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you go on RYM, this thing is at a 3.54.
Yeah.
So, which is considerably higher, almost touching their, the first four. So
pretty impressive, honestly.
It seems like people are generally liking it, and you know, I respect it. I think it's quite a good record. As far as like, if we recognize that Mastodon are never going to be that heavy again, I think this is a pretty good place to be. If, you know, still incorporating, you know, choruses and alt rock and whatnot, but in a very mature way that still stays true to their sound.
Yeah, let them have their fun.
Yeah, and I don't know. It helps that the whole thing, of course, sounds amazing. Tones are perfect. Production's classic, and it just flows. Like, you can tell these guys have been writing songs full time for 20 years. Like, it just flows.
No,
great.
seriously.
You can hear their chemistry on record, and even like the slower songs here, like the acoustic tunes, don't feel like forced. They don't feel bad to me. It feels like, you know, they're kind of going to like a cold, dark place where those were generally more subdued.
Yeah, I agree. I'm totally with that.
Yeah, so I don't know. But, like, I was expecting to hear this record and be like, right? And then I heard it, and I was like, what the hell? It's actually really good. Who knew?
Yeah, no, it's
So,
pretty
like,
freaking good.
I'll take it from like one of metal's best like ongoing bands. Seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
What else came out last week? Oh,
Archspire.
oh my. So, yeah, speaking of incredible records, you know,
Yeah.
every single review of this record was like, yep, it's that good. And I was like, is it really going to be that good? And then I heard it, and I was like, oh,
Yep.
wow.
It's that good.
It is.
Man, they're on another level of metal consciousness and the understanding. Like, I don't know what this album does to me, but it's the whole thing. It's everything I want. It's
totally.
it goes beyond even fucking Relentless Mutation in terms of performance, in terms of honestly even memery. Like, this album is such a fucking meme. Like, I'm listening to this thing and I'm like, I can't believe I'm enjoying this.
No, totally. It's like, you know, I've read a lot of stuff on like the tech death arms race. Right?
That's
And,
what
like,
it is. It's a fucking arms
And
race.
like, I don't know, not only have like Archspire somehow won it, but like the songs are untouchable. Like, Jesus Christ, these compositions are razor tight. Like,
Yeah.
you know, on paper you'd think there's no way this thing is good, right? And then you listen to it and you're like, oh my god. So there was this really cool riff with a hook with like a nice vocal melody and like a percussion part, and there was this Mozart interlude, and the whole thing just worked.
Yeah.
And like not only are these songs incredibly catchy, incredibly technical, incredibly fast and brutal and heavy, but like they're just good. Like,
No, they're all super fun, inventive. Like, they don't sound like the tracks from their previous records. They go beyond.
no, totally. And like, I listened back to Relentless Mutation this week, and Relentless Mutation's amazing, but like it just feels like there's something missing now that I've heard Bleed the Future.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I just feel like I don't know, it's crazy. This is one of those rare groups where they somehow top themselves with like genre defying opuses with every release. Like, you know, Lucid Collective, everyone was like, oh, this is pretty amazing. And then Relentless Mutation came out, I was like, oh my god, this is pretty amazing. And now Bleed the Future, everyone's like, holy shit, this is amazing. And
yeah.
I feel like that does not happen often.
No, definitely not.
Like, I was totally expecting to listen to this record and be like, oh, yeah, it's pretty good, but Relentless Mutation's probably their high watermark.
Nope. That's fine. Honestly, good for them. And you know what? They deserve it. Like, fucking Golden Mouth of Ruin has 720,000 plays.
Insane.
Yeah. Good for him. Stay tech.
Stay tech. I'll go to the Archspire tour and see like 8
Oh, yeah.
Iron Maiden shirts and like
No, right?
and Metallica shirts, and I'll be like, you know what? Good for them.
Yeah, honestly.
I've watched Dean's YouTube channel for quite a while, so it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're so Canadian, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or, I don't know. This is up there. This is top 5 material.
Oh,
without
yeah.
a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no doubt. Like, thing is, when you look at good music like this, or great metal, like, there's so much of it that achieves, excuse me, like a higher echelon where every song is clearly like incredible. Like, there's no real compositional issues, it's just a matter of preference. But it's very rare that like a band like that comes around like Archspire, where these incredibly, well-made pieces of extreme music are also incredibly enjoyable, like every second of the way.
Right.
So.
No, good on them. Seriously.
Good on them, right? Like, Frontier is probably one of the best albums of the year, but like, Jesus Christ, it is like, I dare you to sit through that thing the entire time and active listen to it. It is impossible. But, I digress. I don't know. Archspire Goats, like,
yeah, this record,
they've redefined tech
great.
death again. It's perfect. Let's see. I only listened to one record that came out today, which is definitely not the Friday we're recording this.
I have listened to a couple albums today, actually, so far.
All right, you talk about the one I haven't, and we can talk about Mole.
Which one have you listened to? Oh, okay. So I listened to the Glassing album that came out today.
Is it, dude? I don't really.
I don't. Well, see, I listened to the single too, because Burden was one of the first singles that I listened to, and I was a little tepid at first, and I had to give it a couple more listens. I don't think it's the best thing in the world, but there are seriously heavy moments in this post-hardcore, and it's not even post-hardcore. It's like this weird blend between like the portrayal of guilt, sludge, and speaking of which, new portrayal of guilt today. I know. Like, it really toes the line between being this really heavy, like reverby, sludge metal, and like screamy, shouty post-hardcore. I think the music and the sound itself is great, but I don't know if the compositions are there. So
I feel
that's gonna be something I gotta tackle.
I'll listen to it probably today and give you my thoughts.
Yeah. But you know what is?
Jesus Christ!
Fucking banger record.
Mole.
His Mole record. Wow.
Yeah, I was. The bit where it's like, yeah. So you remember, the song "Brought to the Water" by Deaf Heaven? it's like they did that right 8 times, but good. And
pop, all pop. It's pop. This is a pop album.
No, dude, this like I was listening to this thing today, and I was like, that's a chorus. That's a hook.
Yeah. Like, this is unironically like a pop rock and pop metal album, kind of.
I mean, it's
like,
I'd say it's a black gaze record with pop structures. Record,
but definitively pop. Like, it's hard. It really toes the line between both of those, I'll say.
Adam, you were just you were in too deep, my friend. If you think Mole is pop,
well, it's not pop, but yeah, I don't know.
No,
it's certainly
what I'd say is the tunes are intelligently written with hooks.
Yeah,
which is much appreciated.
Yeah. And honestly, the singles are the worst songs in this record.
No, totally. Like, I love Photophobic. I played it on air last night, but like, wow, the whole thing just hits.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like very, once again, consistently engaging. Like there's no.
It has
no,
so much energy. Yeah,
I know.
There's no low moment.
Like, you know, let's shit on Harakiri for the Sky again, right? Like that record's great, right? But there's not every single song is like 14 minutes, and every single song is just Atmo black like noodling, which is good to a certain extent. But when you listen to like this record, this Mole record, it has hooks. It has these awesome vocal parts, these awesome guitar parts, these awesome like structures and repetitions that stick in your head and make you want to listen to more. And like that's so important when you're playing like
really,
such
really
harsh music.
Yeah. And the thing is what this album really accomplishes well is being that balance between just like literal singing to like the most maximalist black metal you can kind of get out there. I like, even if you go back to like an album like Yord, like Yad had a little one noteness to it, but like that was really balls to the walls. Like that album doesn't hold back at all, and the same thing is true for this one.
Yeah,
they just
totally
go
agree.
in completely.
Yeah, it's very heavy, it's very visceral, and it doesn't sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is definitely up there. It's always tough when you're like putting together your end of the year list, and then you just get hit with bangers after bangers.
Yeah.
Speaking of bangers, I listened to 2 well-rated RYM records this week just to have an opinion on them. I'm okay. The Every Time I Die record, I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
I will never listen to it again in my life, but like, pretty well done.
Okay. That makes sense.
And
I mean, you have to have a lot of balls to release that album cover. Like,
Yeah.
like it's just so shit in every way. It makes me want to throw up.
Well, I didn't realize they had so much indie influence. Like,
I guess so.
no, seriously, because I was listening to it and I was like, okay, are they going to do like the thing where like, you know, they pan the vocals and then someone says blah, and then, you know, you hear do 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 or something,
Right.
and then it'd just be like, oh, here's a Manchester Orchestra section, here's a post rock section, what?
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, I get the hype. Executed very well.
Okay.
Sort of like,
Fair enough.
I guess a good comparison would be like Bring Me the Horizons, like Amo.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, it's clearly not metalcore, but it's certainly well done. And if you
Okay.
like that music, chances are you'll like it.
Fair enough.
And the other one, which, wow, is the Paranormal Asian Glow Sonos Tomon Konta record.
Yeah.
What the hell? I was not expecting this to just be, like, the best thing I've heard all year.
Yeah, no, the way it really balances between the 3 sounds is just
It's stupid.
wonderful.
And it's stupid how well, like, done it all is.
No, it all sounds great. Like, I do think that the Asian Glow songs are the worst, but even those ones are like, they perfectly fit.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like it flows great. Like I love the raw production. I love the genre blending. And yeah, wow. When did like a random 20-year-old Korean dude become like the god of modern indie?
Yeah, right.
Let's see. I don't know if I have any other like super specific thoughts on music specifically. Oh, I guess I saw Peggy live, and that was awesome.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'll talk about that.
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, so Peggy dropped a new record a couple weeks ago called LP with an exclamation point. It's really good. If you're a fan of JPEG Mafia and his stylings, chances are you'll enjoy the record. It's a little cleaner than his past couple works, and I think it's pretty good. But I saw him live at the Royale in Boston a couple days ago, and it was an awesome
Dude, I know
time.
a ton of people that went to that show. I
know-
saw so many Snapchats
I know
from
one
that show.
We can talk about this after, but funnily enough, I hit up basically everyone I knew at my school's like indie music scene, and not a single person was going, so I went by myself.
Wow. Insane.
But no, I mean it was awesome. I will say somewhat shamefully, this was my first real hip hop show,
No?
and it was definitely a different vibe than I was expecting. Originally, I was standing up on the balcony, or not on the balcony, on the at the barrier at the far right at the Royale with my friends, and then the opener came on, and immediately the entire floor just started killing each other. And I was like, okay, nope, and I yeeted up to the balcony.
Yeah.
And so I was on the balcony for the whole show. It was a really good show. But yeah, I felt so old, man. I was standing in line just talking to people, and then the ID guy comes by, and every single person gets the X's. Like every single person down the line.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
That's strange.
Opener was pretty solid. Mixing wasn't great, but the crowd was really into it. And then Peggy himself was incredible. Like I've seen videos of him live and whatnot, and they don't really capture just like how much of a presence he is like in person.
Sure.
Like not only was he loud as balls, which is great for like that type of show, but he was very on point. He was basically like screaming all of the lines, getting super into it. At one point he got into the crowd for a full song, and the crowd circle pitted around him while he rapped. He was wearing like this ridiculous outfit with like short shorts and like a battle vest, just super cool.
Fuck yeah.
And the set was great. Like at one point the whole crowd started a "fuck Morrissey" chant, and just impromptu he played I can't fucking wait until Morrissey dies, and that was awesome. And it was just a ton of fun. Like, clearly everyone there was super into the music. He was a great performer, really got everyone involved. He actually brought out a member of Brockhampton to do his Brockhampton song. Played Call Me Maybe. It was great. No, serious all the time. I will say it was funny because the crowd knew basically all the words to his more popular tunes. And I'm not like super good about lyrics, so I knew like half of them, but we're singing along, and then whenever he said the N-word, everyone would drop out and then immediately come back in, and that was pretty humorous. I will say that, because New England's relatively white. But awesome time. Would recommend. Definitely see him again next time he comes around. All right, on to everyone's favorite topic that definitely has a lot going on and is not dying based on an increasingly worsening series of journalism and standards.
No.
Definitely not.
Sam, what have you been listening
Let's see. I was just listening to a new Slipknot song, which just came out.
Fuck yeah. That's new Slipknot coming out at some point in the future. Also announced there's new Cult of Luna coming out. They're putting out an album next year. Ulver released a Halloween album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wait.
Wait,
It's
what?
It's a cover album.
No. I don't think you realize this.
What?
Psycho Sinner, Jeremy Spencer's psychosexual rebrand, just dropped 9 albums.
Who?
Psychosexual?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
9 albums? Like today?
Yeah.
Hold on. Where?
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Hold on.
There's Unholy Hymns, The Devil Made You, Killing You Softly, Fucking the Fire, Dying to See You, Bite the Snake, As the Demon Dances Under the Blood Red Sky, 666 BC Volume 1, 666 AD Volume 2.
Wow. Wow.
Bro, you can't make this up.
Nope.
So much Jeremy Spencer. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you know what? Good on him. 9 new albums.
Like, who asked for this? I mean, that's insane. I guess the music's all probably atrocious, but like...
You gotta respect the grind, I guess.
Jesus. We've been trying to get a black metal EP out for like a year, and these guys are just like... Jeremy Spencer's just like 9 one day.
He's getting all that Disturbed money.
He's letting the sin begin.
He doesn't even need... I don't know. Whatever, that's other news. Jesus.
Oh my god, that is stupid. The new Touche Amore tour is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, I don't even like Touche Amore that much, but like Vane and Dogleg, and I'll get to see post-hardcore.
There you go.
You better go to that.
Dude, I would go. All right, have you seen this article? It's on Metal Sucks. Okay, I'll send it to you.
Oh man, if some metal sucks, I'm expecting something good.
It's pretty quality. So the title is QAnon, Jeff Hanneman to appear at Knotfest Los Angeles. Okay, so I'm just gonna read it because it's pretty nice. Thank you, Axel Rosenberg. According to top secret deep state inside man known to the world only as Q, of course, Slayer guitarist Jeff Hanneman will appear at Knotfest Los Angeles Friday, November 5th, to unveil President Donald Trump's new national anthem. Writing on Proud, Q says, the breadcrumbs are all in the lyrics to the new Slipknot song, Chapeltown Rag. Running out of daylight, nighttime's better, but we know how to handle the truth. When the band debuts the song tonight, Tortilla Man will tear off his mask and reveal himself to be Jeff Hanneman, who will then perform our new national anthem, thus beginning the Great Awakening.
Okay, that's like unironically the best thing I've ever heard. That has to be a bit. Like, the thing what's funny about QAnon is like the whole thing started as just like a bunch of people shit posting about the dumbest things they could think of.
Right.
That has to be what this is.
I mean, yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but like, hysterical.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly kind of amazing.
Yep.
Like, I'm glad that that exists.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep.
Adoration for.
Damn.
Sundra dropping a new live album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that should be good. Gary Holt said, "Dude, Slayer quit too early."
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about that. They've been in the game for a bit.
It's just so goddamn funny. Like, quit tour. You mean after the principal songwriter since 1982 left and died?
Yeah.
You mean, after Tom Iommi was like, yeah, I actually hate this band, and I hate touring, I don't want to play metal ever again. After Kerry King was like, no, we're living under tyranny right now. Oh my god, I don't know, fuck.
Yeah.
Lursai. Hey, Tobias Forgay unveiled the concept of the new album.
What?
It's called About the Rise and Fall of Empires.
Wow.
Wow, I definitely care about that.
I care about that. Oh, a new Mistras album came out today. Did you know that?
Yes, I added it.
Fuck yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot to mention that. Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds near identical to the first Mistras album.
Yes.
Alos doing God's work.
Doing God's work.
Like how in 2020 our man's like yeah. Wanderers and Mistras. 2021 he's like hour and a half long Spectral album and Mistras.
Man is no chill. Hey, no, he released an overtly anti-fascist dungeon synth album this year too.
Based.
So there you go.
I mean, I don't know, man. I've been actually writing about the Grecian EU drama for school, and I don't know. Maybe the country's just that. That's just what he does.
Makes sense.
That's actually no. I missed a loss. Utterly based.
No, yeah, it was great.
Pumped to peep it more. Do you know what I'm not pumped to peep more, but I'll probably will peep.
What?
Is the new Porcupine Tree record.
Oh, did that come out today?
That they just announced. No, they just announced it.
No.
And it's funny because like it's so Porcupine Tree was 4 dudes for a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously Steven Wilson was one of them. One of them is not part of the band anymore.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what it must be like to work with Steven Wilson.
I can only imagine.
Like you're not that good at something without being a cunt, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, so like same thing with Obscura, with Death, you know.
Yeah. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, right. I can honestly only imagine. I guess the last piece of news that I have would be the Mastodon thing.
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, so after praising them for like 5 minutes or whatever, Brent did an interview with like, I don't know, one of those random like rock talk shows.
No, it
of
was
which there were, like,
it was
4
it was
million.
it was Jeremy Jassa's podcast.
Josta Pasta.
Yeah, it was Jasta Pasta.
That's, of course it was.
Yep.
And then he was basically like, yeah, fuck Disturbed and their fans, they're gay.
Yeah. They're gay.
And I don't know. I feel like you don't generally say that as an insult in 2021.
No. And
Unless
like
it'd be one thing if like Brent Hines was like a queer icon, but
well, it's also strange because like I don't know, like when I think of people using gay as a derogatory term or like in a negative way, I don't usually think of adults using it. I think of like teenagers, like early teens, and I don't know. It just feels very off. Like it doesn't. I don't know. Like it doesn't really make sense to me. Like why would you even say that? I feel like there's better ways to critique.
Brent's like 50. He's done a lot of drugs. It's probably a common insult. I don't know. They're also, well, it's funny because Mastodon are pretty openly like progressive too.
Yeah,
like,
no, and even the response, they were like, "Hey, yeah, sorry, no, we love our queer fans."
Yeah, come on, Brent. I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't think it's the end of the world. Yeah.
No,
there's a there's a reason he normally doesn't do interviews for the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, far from the worst thing ever. But
no,
still, don't say that. It's 2021. Come on.
Yeah, seriously.
Now, if now Tommy Vexed.
There you go. Oh man. All right. Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't think there's too much else to cover. Sorceress next week.
That's funny because Opeth's in 2 weeks.
Yeah. No. Mastodon Opeth.
I mean, that should be awesome.
Very exciting. Yeah.
Oh wait. Idols played on Jimmy Kimmel.
I guess so, if you say so.
What? Nandeska? Yeah, that happened.
Wow, they did Beachland Ballroom. I mean, I guess so. Like, that is kind of, like, music that works. Like, Beachland Ballroom is so kind of passive, I guess. It's like
Dude, you're telling me they didn't rip off 1049 Godot on TV? What the heck?
What the fuck? Where's Rottweiler, dude? Come
on. Let's see. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame happened. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that. I guess the last thing I'll mention, kind of related to metal, is Marilyn Manson is now a regular staple of Kanye West's Sunday service.
Yep. Yeah, literally big fucking sigh.
Like, dude, Kanye, bro, I get it, but like, this man is like has like 15 rape allegations against him right now, of which they're all probably true. Like, if there's ever a time where cancel culture should be in effect, it's when
it's right now.
Yeah.
It's very tone deaf. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
I mean, it is. I know it's Kanye, but like, you can't just shrug and be like, "Well, sorry, it's controversy."
No.
Like, that only gets you so far, Mr. West.
It doesn't. It's very out of touch. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and I hope that people can see it as that. You know.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. What's coming out next week?
We don't know yet, dude. We don't usually. I don't even know.
So Oh, actually, no, this is for this week. Yeah, Omnium Gathering came out today, too.
Oh, yeah. Mortiferum album, too.
Damn, Daniel.
Yep. That's on Profound Lore.
I'm sure. I'm sure it's good. Burial Ground. Planning for burial. No.
They re-released Below the House on vinyl today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, definitely not gonna buy that after.
Okay, hold on. I think Flenser just re-released it. Flenser, hold on.
It's like amazing how popular Planning for Burial is.
No, yeah. I mean, all deserved.
Oh yeah, look. I mean, the music is kind of like sickeningly good. Don't get me wrong.
But no, you're totally right.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely actually ordering this. It's a colored edition. It looks sick.
Wait, the Vile Creature single that they did was on the Flenser.
Oh really?
Yeah, because it was part of a compilation.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so who knows? They might be on the Flenser coming up.
Cowards?
Coward.
Dude, are you gonna bend at Denido? Oh yeah, did you listen to Kyodot from last week?
No, but I want to.
Dude, it's Toby Driver can do better.
I bet.
Like I listened to it yesterday because I had some time to kill, and I was like, you know what? I should probably know what this sounds like. It's so underwhelming. It sounds like old school Scandinavian prog mixed with like boring songwriting.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I mean, I don't want to say like Maudlin of the Well or Goated, but like.
Oh, Maudlin of the Well are goated. That's not even a question, dude. Those albums are something else.
Exactly, and like it's the same. Well, actually, it's a very different group, but I don't know. I feel like there are relatively few KO Dot works that live up to that stuff, you know? Oh, dude. Don't make me grab the I've Seen All I Need to See LP.
That's Pog.
Yes, sir.
All I need.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I don't know. Maybe Sorceress next week. Who knows? Who fucking knows? World's changing every day. There might be something.
I was gonna say it'd be perfect because we could do Sorceress next week, then, Incata Venom, and then see Opeth live, where there's a chance they will be doing their 30th anniversary tour where they play a song from every album.
That would be pretty.
And like that would have been perfect. And then next week come back and like, yo, dude, Opeth, or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, we should probably talk about the underwhelming record at some point.
Yeah, all right.
You're so serious. All right. I've been Sam.
I've been Adam.
And have a good night.